Guys, good morning. How's everybody doing? Well, I guess it's not really morning. That was a lie. Um, all right. So I've been, well, sorting things out. And, sometimes I put things away. Like I get them super organized and they're so well organized and put away that I forget that I have them, right? So I was looking for things that I could put into the pockets on those invisible pocket um, things that I made yesterday. So I was just kind of looking for ephemera and whatnot, and I came across my giant tub full of playing cards. And I don't know what it is, but at some point I just had a thing for playing cards, and I just collected a whole ton of them, a grip of them. And then I've gone through them and I've actually gotten rid of a whole bunch, and I just kept the ones where I liked the backs. And yeah, so I just went through all those, pulled out a bunch that I liked, and like 4 or 5 of each, different one. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make these into some tags. So that's kind of what I want to do. But then also I've got lots of postcards where, I don't necessarily like the front of it, but I keep them because the backs are good. And I think they're kind of fun and quirky. And, I always think, well, that would be kind of a cool little journaling card or whatever. So I just want to like maybe alter the front somehow. And I have actually done that on some where I just glued like, oh yeah, here we go. So I just glued some like botanical type paper on, covering up the picture that's on the other side of the postcard. And so I want to maybe take some of these and cut them down a little bit smaller, maybe. I don't know. So I thought I would do that. So if you have a bunch of postcards and say maybe you don't have a bunch of playing cards, or even just any kind of like, like kids flashcards and just things like that. Like this would be, cool to do that with. Anyway, it's like the most basic, simple thing, but I just want to use these things. And this is a way that I felt like I could use quite a few and, share them, get them out there. And I would have more little like journaling cards and stuff to add to my journals that I'm making. So, and I happen to have a yummy collection of paper that was on my desk from Betsy and Cindy at Ideastimestwo. They sent me a little thank you gift for showing their journals and stuff. So she actually sent me some ledger paper, and look at this gorgeous coffee dyed paper that they've done. It's just beautiful. It looks like it's with the plastic doilies, and I've not ever tried to do that. So I, because I haven't invested in the doilies, but yeah. So anyway, and then there's some really cool like bird book pages, and then some piano roll paper. So that's really cool. So and the piano roll paper is nice because I don't use it that much, but I do have some that Carla sent me. So, and then these now, but yeah, like Carla sent me like 4 rolls, the whole roll. So, anyway, so yeah, so I've got these too, so I can play with those. But I thought what I'd do, just because I've already done this with a bunch of mine, but I thought I would just sort of show you guys what I did. And I'm just going to use the ledger paper. So this is a great way to use ledger paper that is very brittle, or other kinds of paper that's really brittle that you don't necessarily want to fold it and use it as pages on journals or in journals. So what I did was I just basically I applied the glue to the paper. And in this case, I want to show the writing on the other side, so I'm applying the glue to the back side. And then I'm gluing the face side of the card onto that. And then, you know, just as many as I can fit on there. I want to make sure that I've got it glued all the way down to the edges. Oh my God, it's hard to move that. Yeah, that sucks, but oh well. So this is what I did last night. I just sat here and I just glued tons of playing cards to paper. And yeah, I did a bunch. And then I'll show you what I did with them. So I glued all of these down. I probably did like, oh my God, like maybe 20 pages worth or so of just like coffee dyed paper and avocado paper. Tina Korsgaard actually sent me some beautiful, I think it's like cabbage dyed paper that she did. And I'm not sure, but if that's what it was, but I think so. And I'm pretty sure she sells it in her Etsy shop, or if she doesn't have an Etsy shop, she will sell it. And it's really, really pretty. But she's in, where does Tina live? I think she's in Sweden or Denmark or something. I think she's in Denmark. But shipping is pretty cheap from there. Anyways, it's really pretty paper that she does. Anyway, so that's the basic idea, right? Just glue as many as you can onto a piece of paper. And then I sat in bed and watched Game of Thrones again. I think I could just watch Game of Thrones every day. And then I just cut them apart. And so these are actually from Tina. Some of these coffee dyed pages. This is some of my avocado dyed paper. So I cut these all out. See, I did a bunch, right? Oh, this is I think the cabbage dyed one. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's super cool blue color. Anyway, so I did all of these cards, and these are all cut out. And then I went back when I came to work this morning. I got out my corner chomper and chomped all the corners, because you know playing cards have that little rounded corner, and that is no fun to do with scissors. So I sat here for about an hour and rounded all the corners on all of these playing cards, and then on a lot of them I inked around the edges of the, you know, that page. So another thing that would be cool to do on these would be to stamp a label shape, or if you happen to have one of these stamps, just stamp lines, just, you know, stamp some lines on there. I did not do that, but that would be a nice thing to do, I think. Anyway, so lots and lots of playing cards with some kind of pretty paper glued on the front. Okay, so really, because all the cool part is the image on the back, right? Like the backs of the cards are what usually attracts me to cards, especially like the really old vintage ones, you know, like the regular just like poker cards. And I love casino cards. And sometimes when you get the casino cards, they actually have a hole punched right in the center so that, you know, they can't be used again. So anyway, so then I was like, what am I going to do with all these cards? Because I felt like, you know, gosh, do I have to like put tabs on them, or do I have to put some kind of topper on them, or do I need to do stitching around the edges or whatever? And so what I decided to do was I just did, because I have these eyelets. I've shown these before. These are kind of larger than the than the We Are Memory Keepers eyelets, and they come with the washers. Okay, so I think this was 1,000 pieces, or 1,000 sets. So you get 1,000 washers and 1,000 eyelets. And I have to use a different hole punch though, because they are larger. They are larger than the We Are Memory Keepers eyelets and stuff. So punching your hole with the crocodile won't work for these. But I got this swingline hole punch, which is super cool. It's really heavy duty and it punches through. Look at how wide that is, and it's got this neat leverage. So I've used this to punch through book covers. Any book cover I've ever tried to punch through, this has no problem with it at all. And it was $5 on Amazon. So it's a swingline hole punch. So you would need something a little bit larger hole punch, but sometimes just those and the only reason that I'm using this and the larger holes is because I have these eyelets, and because the We Are Memory Keepers eyelets don't come with the washer, and the washer is important for this type of thing. So you can even use this type of hole punch. I don't like these for book covers because this is like, you know, there's no leverage really to help you with it, and I've actually bent these trying to use them. So these are fine for paper and stuff, but for thicker stuff, I like that one. And I will link it in the description so you can find it easily. And then these eyelets, I want to say they were like $10, and there was 1,000 sets. So I'm not sure if they have different colors, but this is the bronze color, and it works for everything that I'm doing. But I also have some of these, and these are longer eyelets. These don't have the washers, but I did try these and they seem to work pretty well. Or you can do it with just the We Are Memory Keepers eyelets too. It's just that I'll show you, and I'll explain to you why I think this is better. So I punched a hole in, you know, the corners of a few of these cards, and I just wanted to make like a little booklet, you know. And then you can still use the crocodile to crimp when you use these. Absolutely. It totally works for that, or the big bite. So anyway, punch a hole, and then let's see, I'll just do one. So I'm just going to do one that has 3 of the same card. These all have like an assortment of cards. So I just kind of line them all up like that. Punch my hole in the corner. And then put the eyelet in from the front. Grab one of the washers and set it on there. And then you kind of have to be careful. Like, once you do this a couple times, you get the feel for it. But then you want to insert that in there and get the bottom of the eyelet into the little, you know, over the little raised part. And then just crimp it a little bit. You don't want to crimp it really hard. Otherwise, your pages won't turn. Okay, so that's why I think that washer is important. This one needs to be crimped a little bit more. And then I know somebody's going to ask what settings I'm using on here. So I'm using, for the large eyelets, I'm using A on the top, and then 2 on the bottom. So it's A2 is your settings on the crocodile. Okay, and then, you know, it's just a cool little, you know, little thing you can stick in a pocket in a journal or whatever. And then what I thought I would do, and this is kind of where I'm at now because I made a bunch of those. I always make a bunch of everything. I'm just going to use like a piece of chain or a piece of ball chain, or even like a I want these to be inside journals, so I want them to lay relatively flat. So I think I'm just going to use some chain. This is all, oh my gosh, this is the chain that, all of this was in that swap that I did with Donna. This is all the chain, well, most of the chain that I was able to harvest from all of the jewelry that I got in my swap with her. So lots and lots of chain. So yeah, since I want this to lay relatively flat, I'm going to use this real thin chain. And then, you know, it doesn't have to be a lot, but I just like the way that looks. I just think it's really pretty to use chain. You could use, you know, cotton twine, or, you know, even just a piece of sari silk or seam binding or something, just to make something decorative on there, you know. But I like to make life complicated, so I'm just gonna loop this through, and get my handy dandy pliers out, and I'm using a teeny tiny little jump ring. Open that up and put it on one end of the chain, feed it through, and then the other end of the chain. And then I can hang charms on that, like a couple little charms, or like a little tag. Like I have some little tiny little tags that I think would be cute. Or what would be really cool is to hang one of those little mini playing cards with an eyelet, you know, and then just hang that on the front. So yeah, so just kind of a cool little project. If you wanted to, you could stitch on your sewing machine, stitch around the edges of these. You could add ephemera, you know, like maybe add some postage stamps, or, you know, some labels or something like that, you know, and kind of dress these up. If you weren't making like 50 of them like I am, you know, that would be kind of fun. But I probably will do some kind of chain and a little charm, and maybe add some labels on these, so before I'm all done. Okay, so that, I like to leave things sort of not finished when I'm making journals to sell, you know, because I like people to, I like people to be able to do their own thing in their journals. And also, I have sort of switched over to this Amazon Basics glue. It's the all-purpose glue stick. It does say washable, but I tell you what, it's been really, really good. And it's a huge glue stick. It's the same size as that, as the Scotch Create glue sticks that I like to use for fabric and stuff. So it's like twice as much glue as, and I don't have any of them right now, but it's twice as much glue as those other, the Elmer's all-purpose ones. So yeah, it's 1.27 ounces, and those Elmer's all-purpose ones are like 0.77 ounces. So anyway, just plug in my Amazon Basics glue because I'm really liking it lately. Anyway, so this was all been sort of a ruse, and I just wanted to sort of get you guys over here because I want to talk to you about my giveaway. And I had mentioned that I would announce what I was going to give away at the end of one of my upcoming videos. And so that's what I'm going to do. So first thing, I have three things that I want to share. And the first one is this beautiful little mini journal, and the cover is beautiful. Like I just, I don't know, I just love it. So this is one that I made at the same time that I did my monthly minis. So, and look, it's got this tag on the inside that was there originally with the little pocket. It's kind of like a French fry bag pocket. And then, you know, lots of ephemera. This is basically, you know, what's in there. Some of those little maps that I did. See what I mean? Like I like to leave things left for you to decorate, you know. But yeah, just some fun stuff in here. There's some of these little fold out pieces that I did, where some of them kind of stuck just a little bit. So there's like 3 in this journal. There's 3 different ones, like different configurations. So I love doing that lately with the little eyelet, or with the little brad. Just another one of those little pockets. Okay, so this is going to be, see, there's another one of these little fold out things. So I love doing those. I'll probably be doing those for a while in lots of journals. Whenever you have just like a piece of paper that you want to add into a journal, but you don't necessarily want to put it in a pocket or whatever, just fold it up and then take whatever piece is down, whatever like square, whatever is on the bottom, and glue that to a piece of paper and then fold it back up. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so this little guy is going to be in the giveaway. And then I also have 2 sets of the label stamps that are unmounted. So if you wanted a set of those, of the label stamps from SignetStamps, they generously offered to send me a couple sets. And so I thought I would give those away, since I already have a whole set, right? Yeah, so I will say 2 sets. So these are, if you wind up not getting, you know, one in the giveaway, and they're perforated. They're all connected, but they're perforated. Each one has a perforation, so they pop apart real easily, and the perforation goes right up to the stamp really nicely. So you don't really have to do any cutting with scissors. So it's nice. I always worry about that when I'm cutting apart stamps like this, like I'm going to accidentally cut through my stamp. So anyways, but these are really nice, high quality stamps. And, you know, if cared for, I feel like they would last a really long time. So there's no foam on these. So if you want foam, you would need to get some mounting foam, which I think you could probably just use like fun foam too. But what I do when I have stamps like this is I usually just put a piece of fun foam under my paper and then stamp it using an acrylic, you know, put this on an acrylic block, just temporarily attach it with like a glue stick or something, like a school glue stick. So anyway, so those, and then the little journal. So here's how to enter. I am really feeling like I want to try to support other YouTube channels and other artists and stuff like that. So here's what I would like you guys to do. If you would like to enter the giveaway, I would like you to go on YouTube and find a channel that maybe you recently discovered, or one that's your favorite or something like that. But let's make it a channel that has less than 3,000 subscribers. So less than 3,000 subscribers. Put a link in the description to either their channel or one of their videos that you really like. And, you know, let's just do that, because I think that would be really cool. And that way I can copy those links and I can start sharing them in future videos and stuff. And you know what? Because that's how we hear about channels, right? From each other. And, so I think that would be really cool. And then we'll compile a list of all those channels, and I can start just, you know, linking them in my future videos, and other people can too. I just think that that's one of the best ways to help a channel grow. And, you know, because there's so many that, you know, it's like they just don't get viewed, because we wind up just watching our channels we're subscribed to, or, you know, links that come up on autoplay on YouTube. I know, like me personally, I don't spend a ton of time searching for new content on YouTube, because I'm just lazy. So help me out, like help me find some other stuff to watch, you guys. But yeah, so I would just ask that it's something that is somewhat craft related, or, you know, something kind of along the same lines as what I'm doing, or you know what I mean. It doesn't have to be junk journals or whatever, but just, you know, maybe not like a political thing. Anyway, okay, so that is what I'm offering for my giveaway. I was gonna, you know, wait and see if I got to 7,500 subscribers, but I just couldn't wait. And so thank you every single person who has subscribed to my channel. It just like blows my mind. And you know who's like super impressed is my kids. Like they think it's like really weird. They think it's super weird. Anyway. So let's say, what's the date today? Today's the 28th of March. So let's say, I'll give you guys until, wait, let me look at my calendar. Hold on. Hold the phone. Let's say, a week. So we'll say until next Saturday, the 4th. And I will, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to put, I might do the comment selector thing. I don't know, but my favorite way to do it is to just write names and draw them on a video. That's like my favorite way to do it. So, I'll figure it out in the meantime. And I will do something that is super fair and on the up and up. And I'll draw 3 winners or somehow choose 3 winners. And who knows, I might come up with some more stuff to give away in the meantime. So, okay. So we'll say, you know, have a link posted in the comments and, you know, leave a comment too, like why you like them or whatever. That would be super cool. And then, yeah, and then we'll figure it out. So let's just say by, you know, 8 p.m. Pacific time that day, let's get all the comments in if you can. Okay. I think that's pretty fair. And then Sunday the 5th, I'll do a video to choose the winner. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. And I love you. Bye for now.